Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and it's the Go Home Show. Next week, San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, can you feel it? Just so much excitement all around. Not just toys, but traveling and seeing people I only see once a year. I love San Diego Comic-Con. How about you guys at the gun range? What do you think? Of course they stop now. So let's quit dilly-dallying, get right into the toy news, talk about some plastic, talk about some action figures, what's coming, what we're gonna spend money on. Hasbro and also Takara Tomy has released new promotional shots of their upcoming Transformers Siege Impactor and Mirage, including package shots that always make me think, oh man, ooh, they're coming, they're so close, I need them now. I'm not as familiar with Impactor. From what I understand, he mostly appeared in the UK Marvel Comics, and I did read the Wreckers series, but that's been a long time ago, and my memory, it ain't what it used to be. Is the smaller pistol supposed to emulate his spear hand? Comparing to an earlier promotional shot, which seems more like a 3D render, there's not a lot changed here, maybe some color differences, and it does look like the smaller weapon unplugs and then plugs into his hand if you want that spear look. Mirage is way more my speed. He appeared a lot in the G1 cartoons that I watched over and over and over, so he's ingrained in the brain. But again, comparing to the original promotional shots, which again, maybe 3D renders, there's more prominent changes in his case. Most obvious is the change to the tampo on the leg. It says something different. I'm not quite sure what it says, but it's definitely different characters. And then a more subtle change is the blue plastic. On the final product, it appears some of it is translucent blue, which really adds to the Mirage effect, I think. Hasbro, you clever bastards. In robot mode, it's more of a mishmash of different blue plastics. It's translucent down low, and then as you move up, it's more opaque. So it's okay. I still like the effect, but we'll see how this turns out. Like I'm not gonna buy it. Both are priced at $20 and set to release in September. Takara Tomy also released new promotional images of the Transformers Siege Omega Supreme. Not a lot has changed from promotional shots to these shots, except for a few flourishes here and there, and then seeing its overall size again. This is gonna be one impressive toy. There's translucent orange parts to the chest, to the head, to the right claw, and the little burnt spots to some of the plugs over the body. It just adds a little something to it. Except for it looking like a shorted ground plug on the legs. I mean, that causes fire, kids. That's a safety hazard. But speaking of fires, you see how I did that? Oh, the transitions. He comes with a blast effect that breaks down to all different kinds of parts like we're kind of seeing with Jetfire, and those can plug into the burnt plug holes, I guess, and have just... Size-wise, while this bot-in-bot action is hot as hell, you can't deny it, just seeing Omega Supreme knelt down behind Optimus Prime right here is giving me the cold shivers of where the hell I'm going to put this in the toy room. Surprisingly limber, though, him ducking down like that. That's... Gimme. $160 comes out in October. 1 year ago at San Diego Comic-Con, Mattel showed prototypes for a 6-inch line of Jurassic World / Park figures that consisted of Blue, Owen, and Ian Malcolm. They looked pretty good. They were Marvel Legends-esque. But at the time, we were told that even if something became of these, it wouldn't be until fall of 2019. Well, guess what year it is now? And with new pics and information, it seems like they're going ahead with the line. They're calling it the Amber Collection, but Mattel being Mattel, there's some changes involved. Not so much to the Raptor, they're now calling it a female Raptor. It's essentially the blue sculpt we saw last year, just in different colors. Nicely articulated, nicely sculpted, I'm completely happy with that. Malcolm, on the other hand, some very severe changes. You can definitely tell it's a completely new sculpt. They've added wrinkles to the clothing. It looks a little bit more realistic, and they also debuffed him a little bit. That prototype last year, it was Chaos Theory. This one, much more realistic. But the most obvious change is the arm articulation. Last year, had double elbows, had a bicep swivel. The new pictures show a hinge and swivel elbow, which is okay. I mean, shit, half the action figures we get anymore utilizes this articulation, so I'm not heartbroken. It's just that you showed me one thing and gave me another. I do like the new sculpt to the boots, though. It makes it more accurate. So they're not going in the wrong direction. It's just different than what we've seen. Expectations and then what we actually get. Hopefully we'll get a better look and more info next week at San Diego. Damn Toys has announced Drawman, or Drawman, however you want to say it. And it's a 1/12 scale blank action figure that they're making so you can put clothes on. It's purposely skinny so the clothes won't look too bulky on top of it. Or, as the name suggests, to use as a model for your art activities. Looks to be nicely articulated and, well, suitably blank, but in a stroke of genius, Damn Toys is also offering this figure in Crash Test Dummy flavor. Say hello to Testman, or Testman. It can go either way, I swear. It's not based on the famous Crash Test Dummy commercials from the 80s, but more of a modern style. This is tempting to someone like me who does a few Mezcos, but isn't really into the customizing of them, or, you know, get a lot of cloth clothes. I don't need a blank body, but you paint it up like this, and oh, it's tempting. And while they share a lot of the parts, Damn Toys went a little bit extra mile and changed out the neck to make it more dummy-like on Testman. Best of all is the price. Drawman is $22, Testman is $27, and they're both set to release in Q4 of this year. Earlier this week, I was turned on by Toy Fiend over at Empire Toy Shop to the 12 World Toys, that's hard to say, 12 World Toys, 12 World Toys stair dioramas. Now I'm always on the lookout for something to spruce up shelves or spruce up a picture, and I can't help thinking that this would make a shelf dynamic as hell. It's buildable. You can take the parts, mix and match different sets together. You can just layer up a shelf and just have stairs coming up, figures there, up on platforms, up there, under the platforms, under the stairs. You know what would look good here? 6-inch G.I. Joes. TW1904A has a couple of floor panels with column legs, stairs, and rails for both the steps and the floor. While set B has floor panels, safety rails, and taller columns for a more tower configuration. And like I said, those can be mixed and matched for all kinds of fun, but the fun does not stop there, because last night they announced a couple of other sets. TW1907A consists of a steel platform, legs, walls, and stairs, while set B is a more stripped down version. Even better, there's an A plus B set that mixes both of these together and adds a ladder between the two. Even more interesting to me, coming from a fabrication background, these are made of actual metal. So I feel like they'll be very durable, very sturdy, but at the same time, the company needs to really watch their hole tolerances and how they fit together, because with metal, there's no give. You stick it in, if it's loose, it's gonna be loose. The sets run anywhere from $20 to $60, with the 1904 sets coming in Q3 of this year, and the 1907 sets coming in Q4. I remembered all those numbers. Last week I teased Hasbro about having something against cowboys because they sent out a lot of promotional images for new Overwatch figures like Junkrat and Zarya, but not a lot for McCree. This week we get a little redemption, not the Red Dead variety though, with more promotional shots of McCree both in his single release and then his white hat version in the 2-pack with Posh Tracer. I'm still worried about the poncho coming down over his left arm, hindering movement there, and even in these newer pictures in slightly different poses, he's really favoring that left arm, but still, cowboy. I need it. But this week isn't without surprises because we also got promotional shots for a Golden Soldier 76. It's essentially a color swap from the 2-pack we got, but nothing wrong with that. That's a major component of the game. I don't have any release info of this version of Soldier 76, but I'm figuring he's going to come out in Wave 2 with Junkrat, Zarya, and McCree. Next week, we'll find out. Here's a few more shots of the upcoming DC Collectibles PX exclusive Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo in Batman gear. Just shows off the overall look better with a little bit of articulation demonstration, which doesn't seem to be the greatest in the world, but I feel like the style is the big seller here, not the toyability. But is it weird that I'm fascinated by the cape here? Look how it lays when it's neutral, but then flares out really nicely in action. I shouldn't be surprised though, because fan favorite C. Jesum actually did the soft goods for this line. Oh, did I blow the surprise for the next news item? Either way, this is looking good. If it comes out like this, I'll be happy. Now, like I said, line. To keep Mikey happy, GameStop this week announced the rest of a line for Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from DC Collectibles. Well, at first we got misleading little tiny pictures, and I think on the actual solicitation pages on GameStop.com right now, they're still using these tiny little pictures that makes it look like every figure is the same height. Way to sell your product, GameStop. I mean, looking at this, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise that they're in the predicament they are at the moment. Thankfully, we quickly received promotional images from DC Collectibles showing the accessories, showing the actual size, just, getting a better look at the line as a whole. I still haven't watched the movie, but like a lot of lines based on properties I'm not familiar with, well, okay, I'm familiar with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman, just not this iteration of them. Like a lot of those lines, I'm interested in the design, and I think I absolutely love the style here. First up in September, we get Batman and Leonardo with various hands and weapons, plus pizza slices. Who doesn't need pizza slices? Also in September is Robin and Raphael with hands, weapons, pizza, manhole cover, and alternate heads. That hood looks amazing. In October is Batgirl and Donatello with hands, weapons, pizza, and ooze tube, plus Donnie gets an alternate head. November brings Alfred and Michelangelo with hands. In fact, Alfred gets an impressive array of hands for somebody that just comes with a coffee mug and a slice of pizza. And don't forget the skateboard. And then finally there is Ra's al Ghul and Shredder with sword and ooze tube in December. Each set will run you $50, but you can also buy a bundle for $250. I think that ships all at the same time. I don't know. Again, GameStop's website, they just kind of, well, I guess we're going to sell this today, and maybe we'll sell some, and maybe we won't. Like I said about Michelangelo, the whole line doesn't seem to be super articulated, but they'll look damn impressive all standing together on a shelf in a display. Just last night, Bandai solicited the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Super Jiren. Not the most complicated of designs, but if you're a fan of Super, you need a Jiren, right? Has several sets of hands, including an effect hand that's translucent orange, and then he comes with a right hand to hold Goku by his ever-loving Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan hairdo. Has an effect piece for the whole arm, or is it a swappable arm? Either way, it looks cool, and then 4 swappable heads. Whoa! This is a Soul Web exclusive, so you'll have to go to the usual third-party sites, Nippon Yasan, Anime Export, your weapon of choice. $60 and comes out in January of 2020. It was just last week that McFarlane Toys posted full-on promotional images for their My Hero Academia line, and that consists of All Might, Midoriya, Bakugo, and Shigaraki. Oh wait, I didn't butcher the names? Could it be? Uncle Robo went out and did research! I know, a rare thing, but I like these designs so much, and I heard good things about it, so I actually went and watched My Hero Academia. At least season 1. I'm mowing through season 2 right now. Oh, so good. Anyway, this image popped up this week. It seems to be at a show, and it's the McFarlane Toys All Might and Midoriya, and I like the designs, and I think I'm gonna like the articulation, but there may be a couple of scale issues. I feel like All Might should be bigger. Deku should be a little bit smaller. They'd fit together a little bit better. But it does make me think that I will get the Figma Deku and Kachan to go with the McFarlane Toys All Might and Shigaraki, and we'll go from there. Those should be appropriately bigger. The Figma should be appropriately smaller. I don't know. But I'll still have to get the McFarlane Toys Midoriya because it's a later costume, whereas the Figma is his first superhero costume. Speaking of the Figma version, last week I completely missed, I didn't see it until this week, that the Good Smile Shop pre-order bonus for Young Midoriya is an alternate masked head from that first costume he had. I haven't figured out a way to actually order it because the Good Smile company doesn't ship to the US, so if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. Comments. But just wish list a little bit because, you know, new property, I'm enjoying it. Got a wish list a little bit, right? I don't see the Figma line going very deep, so hopefully with the McFarlane Toys line, we'll get Uraraka or Ida or Powered Down All Might. I think my favorite is Aizawa, though. I need an eraser head figure. Also Todoroki, even though I don't think his initial costume will translate well into plastic, being, you know, the whole eyesight. Any and all, give them to me, I'll take them. In super crazy Marvel Legends news, Hasbro sent out promotional pictures this week. I know! And even more exciting, here is the white mailer box for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Marvel Legends Retro Carded Hulk. I was really pushing that one. I thought I could make it. No. Retro Carded Hulk. It's white. It's Hulk. It protects your Retro Carded Hulk inside of it. Cool. We also received some new images of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Star Wars Black Series vintage-inspired Boba Fett. Let's pick this apart, shall we? Still looking amazing. I still love this style, but there's been a couple more tweaks since the last time we saw updated pictures. The card back, the warning label is back at the bottom. That was missing the last time. Also, it appears some of the colors changed on the backer card, but I think that's the foil effect. That's just different lighting causing different effects. Figure-wise, you'll notice the little barrel of Boba Fett's pistol hanging out the bottom of his holster. With the original prototype, it showed his pistol, his rifle, then in the first package shots with the actual tray, the pistol was replaced with an E11 in the bubble and then nothing in his holster. These pics, the pistol's back, the E11's at the bottom, he's holding his rifle, so he gets the full array. But if you look at the paint job on the actual figure, the original prototype was very clean. Just straight red, just straight green, just some gray, with a little bit of smudge on the suit, but not so much. It was very vintage feeling. But then in updated shots, they've went back to the dings and dents and put silver paint chips there, making it kind of a more realistic Boba Fett who's just inspired by that retro look. I don't know. I'm not mad. I'm still gonna fight you all in line for this thing. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just, again, expectations. Like Mattel, they showed something, and then they made some changes. But just a week out from San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro comes along and announces another exclusive. The hot new thing this year is the Sith Trooper. Here's the Star Wars Black Series Rise of Skywalker Sith Trooper Early Edition. New movie coming, that means new designs, or at least new designs based on old designs to give you kind of that nostalgia feel, but putting some twist on it. For those of you saying you can't wait to get an action figure of a character that has maybe 15 seconds of screen time, have you not been collecting Star Wars for the past 40 years? The original movie had characters that we beg for to this day that had less than 15 seconds of screen time. Hey, you enjoying those original trilogy Royal Guards? Man, they had a prominent part in Return of the Jedi. To me, it's a cherry-flavored stormtrooper, and I will buy troopers all day, every day. The red is striking, and it's definitely First Order, but I'm picking up hints of Death Trooper, maybe? Still very sequel trilogy, with just a splash of Rogue One. It also seems the arms are slightly better articulated than the First Order stormtroopers we've had before, which is not a hard thing at all. But more interestingly, from an engineering standpoint, the knees look kind of awesome. You can see the peg holes for double knees, but the thigh piece comes down and covers the knee. Is this something we'll see more in the line? Is this a new way to do knees? Or is this just how the armor's designed? Either way, I don't know why that stuck out at me. It's a cool little thing. Now, you remember me saying early edition. This is going to be available at Comic-Con with all these weapons and gym equipment, and then later down the line, it'll be a more stripped-down version of the figure in the standard series. $32 at the Hasbro booth, probably available on Hasbro Pulse afterwards. Good grief, I don't know how long the final cut of this is going to be, but I've been talking for a long time. So that's it for today. That's it. You know, that's it. Just a little bit of twin news, whatever. As always, all the pictures that I showed in this video will be available on the Fwoosh front page tomorrow at noon. If all of this was distracting you from the pictures, which, why wouldn't it? You can get a better look at that tomorrow. Boy, I'm cocky today. San Diego coming up. I'm ready. Ooh. So if you had fun with me today, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.